All right, guys, welcome to the Catalyst podcast. This week we have Nina. How do you say your last name?
Damjanovic.
Say it again.
Damjanovic.
Damjanovic. I said that right?
That's right.
There we go. All right. So it's pretty close to my name, so I could get with that.
Somewhat.
Yeah, right. Kinda. So we got Nina D. All right. She's. Are you out of? Where are you out of? You're all over the place, so I never know where you are.
Arizona is the home base, but I travel all the time. So
yeah, you're like Carmen Sandiego of life insurance. I love it. I'm like, where is she? So, and the cool thing about you, Nina, is that we've actually never had a one-on-one conversation or anything like that. I've seen you on social media. I've seen you on leaderboards, and the pairing of the two, you can get to know a lot about people without even getting to know them. And what I've seen is your tenacity to get out there and be uncomfortable. I remember when you started some of those travel trips, some of the things that you were learning, and now it's like you're like the travel trip expert. Like you call them like, hey, we'll do this. How do you prepare? And at the beginning, it was like, well, I don't really know. I'm just kind of going where the leads are. You know what I mean? And I see a lot of team growth coming through your own personal sales. And I think without internet life leads, and I want to turn it over to you and get into the sales, but without internet life leads, do you see your business personally or team growing as fast as it is?
Oh my goodness. Those leads, I mean, those have been a game changer. Like for myself personally, like I wouldn't have been able to hit Hall of Fame last year without those leads, without a doubt. And same for the team. Like it's all we're promoting, it's all we're running. They're amazing.
Give us a few things. If somebody said, hey, I want to be a Hall of Fame producer this year, it's my first year at Family First Life, or it's my first year, I'm ready to really commit to this. Give us 15, 20 minutes of what you would do to hit Hall of Fame if it was your time, if it was your first year, you did it, and do it all over again.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the biggest thing is knowing that anyone can do it. It's just a game of activity. That's all it is. I think, Dom, obviously, people try to, come into this, they try to reinvent the wheel, they try to do all that. And when I stopped doing that is when I started having success here. Like I went to my very first conference. So I came into FFL part-time. I was like, hey, this is going to be like a, just part-time gig. Like I still want to do personal training. I want to do all of that. But like, I went to this conference. It was in November of 2019. And I remember people walking across stage and they were like, yeah, I did 700 grand last year. I did 500 or 400. And I'm like, how are these people doing that? Like the top person, the number one person at my last insurance company with over 100,000 agents only did like 250. Like, how are these people producing so much? And I was like, they're not like anything special. And like from that moment there, I was like, I know I can hit Hall of Fame because every single person that walked across that stage said two things. They said 30 appointments a week, $2,000 of leads. And I was like, okay, that's all I have to do. I'm going to hit Hall of Fame. So from that moment on, I decided to go all in. So I feel like that's the number one thing is shifting your mindset. Like Hall of Fame isn't like when you look at it as 400,000 seems like a huge number, right? But when you break it down into months or weeks or days, like a month, all you have to do is write or issue pay 33,333. I'm not really good at math, so I'm not going to go into those other numbers, but basically like breaking it down, it's really not that much. It's like 1,700 a day. And like, we all have days where we pop off 5K, 6K, 7K, 8K. So it's very possible. It's just the activity. So the number one thing is, again, mindset. So shifting your mindset to, I'm going all in on this because I know I can do it. Number two is establishing a good schedule and lead flow. Look at where you are. Look at the CRM map. Look at, your situation. Can you do travel trips? Or are you going to be, home based the whole time? Whatever it is, just look at your situation and map out a game plan. So for me, I live in Arizona. If you look at the heat map in Arizona, you'll notice that there's not that many instances here. There is, they load in every single day, but there's not as many CRM leads here as there are in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, that East Coast side. So my biggest thing was like, okay, I'm going to travel. Like I can get away with writing 20, 30, 40 grand a month here locally. But if I want to do more and build more, I'm going to have to get outside of my comfort zone. So map out a game plan, figure out where you want to go on travel trips. And then number 3 is just looking at your lead flow. Lead flow is everything. And then also diversifying your lead flow. So, you know, I was very guilty of this when I had first started. I would buy like $500 worth of leads, and I would milk those leads, or try to, over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And yeah, you might get lucky, you might sell 2 or 3 out of those 20 leads that you bought or whatever you purchased. But what are you going to do after that? It's the same thing. Like Grady always talks about this. He always says, like, imagine opening up a restaurant, and, you know, you invite your friends, you invite your family, you do all that, and you only put out one ad for 1 week, and it's the week that you're opening your restaurant. You might get people in the first week, the first 2 weeks, maybe the first month. But if you're not consistently putting those ads out there and getting in front of people, your restaurant isn't going to be popping anymore, because no one's going to hear about it. No one's going to know about it, right? So same thing goes with leads, is really investing into your business, right? So instead of buying that $500 worth of leads, just buy a little bit more leads. Like it's really not that deep. Maybe in the beginning, people can only afford 500. Spend 500, and then whatever you have left, or whatever you sell from that $500 lead pack, reinvest back into leads. And that's how you're going to 10x and multiply. So that was a struggle for me in the beginning, is getting to that $2,000 a week on leads. But once I got there, it's like, you don't look back, just because, now you have the activity with $2,000 of leads, especially now with the instants, like $2,000 of leads, that gets you like 200 instant leads, right? So being able to just get that many leads, it's just giving you more shots and, more people to get in front of. It's so easy to get 30 appointments a week when you have 200 leads, rather than having 50 leads and trying to get 30 appointments, right? So it's all about that activity. So my schedule every week, I follow the typical FFL full-time agent schedule. I do Monday, Thursday dial days, and I do Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday field days. So for me, the number one thing is dial days or pay days. It's very, very important to dial. And basically, I will dial my heart out until I have at least 15 appointments in a 2-day period. So today's Monday, today's dial day. I'll be dialing all day. Some days it could take 2 hours to book a full schedule. Some days it might take a little bit longer, but all I know is that I'm not getting my butt out of that chair until I have at least 15 appointments in a 2-day period. Because if you have 15 appointments in a 2-day period, let's say 5 or 7 no-show you, that still gives you, 10 shots or 8 shots to get in front of people to actually sell them, basically. So having that full schedule is super, super important. And the only way you can do that is having enough leads. So basically, I just follow that schedule and I follow that system, and it just works. It just makes sense. And then as far as travel trips go, I basically chase the leads. So if I, check the CRM right now, I basically am going to go where the most leads are. If you look at the CRM, the red areas, those are the hottest. If you see, 100 instances in an area, pick up and go, because that means is basically people really, really need our help, because there's probably not enough agents out there, and, there's just not enough agents out there. So if you can go help these families that are genuinely needing more help, like there's plenty of agents in Arizona. We're good here. But if you look in New Jersey, there obviously isn't enough agents out there, and there's so many leads out there. And these are families that desperately need us. So that's basically the way I look at it, is, just opportunities to help people. So for me, I probably go on 3 to 4, I want to say 2 to 4 travel trips every single month. So basically, chase the leads. I'll go to a different place every single time. I've been to Minnesota. I've been to Hawaii. I've been to Jersey. I've been to Pennsylvania, Florida. I basically make it a goal to go on a travel trip every other week, pretty much. And basically how I map that out is I chase the leads. So let's just say, for example, I'm buying leads in Ohio. So I look at the CRM. I'll check to see what's available. So, let's just say there's 100 instants available. I'm going to snag all those instants. I don't book my flight. This is something Andrew Taylor taught me. I don't book anything until I at least have 10 appointments booked. So if I plan on leaving on a Monday, that Sunday prior to the travel trip, I'm going to make sure I'm dialing so I could at least have 10 appointments booked before I get out there. Because what sucks, imagine buying a bunch of leads, going out there and not being able to book any appointments. And now you spent all this money on travel, all this just to get there, and you have no appointments. Like, for what? So what I do is I simply just, buy the leads. I'll book appointments, and let's just say I only book 5. That means I just maybe have to push my trip out a day, or just have to dial 10 times harder the next day. Wake up earlier and dial harder, or buy more leads. So let's say I'm leaving on Monday again. So I'll book that Sunday. That Monday, I'll book the earliest flight out. That way, when I get there, I still have more time to dial. So I'll get there, dial the phones more. And again, my goal is to have those 15 to 20 appointments in that 2-day period, The biggest thing is just maximizing your time on travel trips. Like, I feel like it's very easy to get distracted when you're at home. Like, it's, I get a no-show if I'm home. I'll come home, I'll make myself a sandwich, I'll do something like that. Where on travel trips, like, you are there to work, you're there to focus. So utilizing, the time between your appointments on travel trips for door knocks, for more dials. And the pressure is really on when you go on travel trips. Like, I make sure to let them know within the first minute of that appointment, like, hey, I'm super, super busy. I'm actually from Arizona. They sent me all the way out here because there's not enough representatives out here. And we've been getting so many requests for this type of coverage. So it kind of puts the pressure on them. It kind of, they know that they're going to want to submit something today because you're there right there and then, and you're from Arizona, and you don't know the next time is that you're going to come back. So yeah, that's basically it. It's just really, really hammering on those travel trips, chasing the leads, putting the pressure on, and utilizing, your time between appointments to get more appointments or to fill your gaps in your schedule. You're already on a travel trip. So, taking those extra steps, like, you're already there, you already flew there, you already bought the leads. So why wouldn't you just maximize your time in the field while you're there? So that's basically it, to kind of sum it up.
What is your mindset? Because I heard you mention this. But what is your mindset and approach to booking your appointments?
Every single person that I dial needs my help. So, if the biggest thing is just having enough leads to dial. So when you have enough leads to dial, your mindset it's the same thing. So, like, if I had 30 leads to dial and 20 people told me to F off, it's very easy to get discouraged and kind of get in your head and get in that negative mindset, right? But when you have more leads, you have more opportunities. So you don't let those little things get to you. Like, if you dial 30 out of 200 leads and 30 people tell you to F off, well, that still means that you have 170 more opportunities for people to want to see you, right? So that's my mindset. I just try to stay in a positive mindset every single time I dial the phone, just because I know these people need us. They need the coverage. They put in the request for coverage. Like, I used to have to, with my previous insurance company, I used to have to bait and switch. And I used to have to kind of maneuver my way into these homes and try to sell people life insurance that didn't even request it. Where here, like, these people genuinely need our help. And it's like, how many death claims I've gotten. Like, that's my mindset, is everyone's going to die. People die on Sundays, so that's why I dial on Sundays. People die every single day of the week. So just really being in the mindset of, oh, I want to help people, and these people are requesting my help. So that's basically what it is.
What was the hardest part for you with your phone approach script that you had to learn?
I would say taking the emotion out of it. Like, it was so easy for me to get emotional. And again, that goes with me in the beginning, not having those 200 leads to dial. It was like I had 30, and I was getting emotional when 20 people told me no, and that they didn't want to see me. And, like, again, with the more leads we buy, emotion really comes out of it. Like, you don't have that emotion anymore when you have more people to see and more people to dial. So that was it for me. It was just taking the emotion out of it and not letting the no's really affect me, because I know the next person's going to say yes. So
do you work all types of internet leads, 1 month, 3 month, 90-day, or just?
Oh yeah,
all of them?
Absolutely. A lead is a lead. It doesn't matter if they requested it 4 months ago. If they're in there from 4 months ago, that means they still need your help. right? Or we can put them, let's say they did get coverage, we can review their policy and put them in a better situation with our like incredible line of products. So
do you have different scripts for different age types?
honestly, no. So I literally use the same exact script no matter how old the lead is. If it's 3 months or if it's a new instant internet lead, I use the same exact script just because, I mean, I act as if it's a new lead. And most of the time people forget.
You mind if we run through that real quick? I'll be the client.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing about me is that I always, always, always have my script in front of me. So let me pull it up really quick.
I love it. I love it.
That's like one thing. I was trained on it. Like always have your script in front of you. So that way I can't mess up and I'll literally follow. I've been doing this now for like 3.5 years and I always have it in front of me. So, okay. Hey, Dom.
Hello? Yeah.
Hey, Dom. Hey, Dom, this is Nina at the benefit office here in Maricopa County. Just getting back to you about the life insurance request you sent in a few weeks ago. It looks like you put 777 Success Lane as your address and June 28th, 1986 as your date of birth. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So again, my name's Nina. I'm just calling to let you know that we did get your request and I'm actually just the local field underwriter assigned to get this out to you and go through a quick eligibility. Just like I said, it's all non-medical, so no blood, no physical urine, anything like that. I just need to check your ID and make sure that nobody has you strapped to a hospital bed full-time. Should take about 10 to 15 minutes. Now, Dom, are you working full-time or are you retired or disabled?
I'm disabled.
Okay. And John, are you single, married, widowed, or divorced?
Single.
All right. And so they have me dispatched in your area tomorrow, seeing about 15 other families. I have an opening at 6:45 a.m. or 8 a.m. Do you have a preference?
Let's do 8.
8 a.m. All right, perfect. Go ahead, Dom, and grab a piece of paper and a pen for me. I'm just going to have you jot some stuff down. Let me know when you're ready.
Got it.
All right. I'm going to have you write down my name. It's Nina. And then for tomorrow, which is March 16th at 8 a.m., and I'm going to have you write down my Arizona State Insurance license number. Make sure you verify that when I get to the door, okay? And that number is 1-871-5001. Why don't you read that number back to me?
Was it 801-0551? Is that it?
Sure. Yes. So I have you down for 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. And now, Dom, are you pretty good with keeping the appointments that you set up?
Yes.
Okay. You know, I know both our times are very, very valuable. I want to make sure you're there tomorrow. It's going to take about 10 to 15 minutes at 8 a.m. Okay. And then one more question before we get off the phone. If I get lost, do you mind if I give you a call ahead of time?
No problem.
Perfect. Awesome, Dom. Well, I will see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Have a good rest of your day. And basically, I always make them write down a confirmation code and read it back to me. That just tells me that they're writing it down, right? And that they're actually doing it. The second thing I do is I always ask them if they're pretty good at keeping the appointments they set up. You know, if they show you, hey, you told me you were good at keeping the appointments you set up. You weren't there. So I feel like it cements the appointment a little bit more. And then the last thing I say is, you know, if I do get lost, do you mind if I give you a call ahead of time? That's super helpful because they literally envision you driving to their house and getting lost and you giving them a call. So I just add those 3 tie downs to really, really cement the appointment that I'm going to. That way it can decrease my no-show ratio.
Love it. Moving into the home, who do our clients buy from and why? And did you know that when you started at FFL? Because I know what you were doing a little different before, but did you see that early on?
Who do they buy from, as in like us? Is that where? Yeah.
Yes. Who do our clients buy from? Like who are they? Are they, you know, is it just the person with a license? Is it the person with crazy experience? Like,
no,
who does our clients?
Yeah, I feel like they buy from the people that, you know, walk in with confidence and are really going in there with the sole purpose of protecting their family. Like what we do is very emotional. It's a very emotional sale. Like they're not buying something that's tangible. They're not buying anything that they're going to see in the next, month or 2 months or 3 months or anything like that. Like they're buying something that's not even going to be there. Like it's going to be there for their family when they pass away. So I feel like what our role and like what we do is just so important, is bringing out that emotion and really, really painting that picture for them. So just really going in there and just connecting with the clients, like that's the biggest thing. And to answer your question, you asked, did I realize that in the beginning?
Yes.
No, not at all. Like for me, I thought I had to know like every little detail. Like I thought I had to know every single thing about the products. I thought I had to know just basically the back end of everything, and you really don't. It's just a matter of going in there and helping someone who literally requested for you to help them. So it's just building up that emotion and just connecting with your clients and just being there for them. So
connecting and making friends. There's a thin line there. Can you kind of walk us down that line of a Hall of Fame producer doing that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't make friends with my clients. Like that's first and foremost. Friends don't buy from friends. And there's been times where I'll go into a home and I feel like I'm like, oh, I just made a friend. And what happens the next day? They call me to cancel their policy. So there's definitely a fine line there. So not making friends with them, but connecting with them and making them feel comfortable with you, making them know that you're going to be there. You're their insurance agent. You're going to be there not only when something happens, but while they're living too. If they need anything at all from an insurance standpoint, you're going to be there for them, but you're not their friend. So that's kind of my mindset on that, is just going in there, getting them what they're requesting, basically. And that's it. Like we're there to do one thing, and that's putting the protection in place, but they can't hate you. They're not going to buy insurance from you if they don't like you, right? So building somewhat of a connection with them.
Absolutely. And the relationships that you're building all over the country. Some folks, well, you have to service your business and going back to your clients and yada. And it's like, it's 2021. It's e-apps. People really don't want to see you that much. Like I love the text message is just as good as you showing up to their house. You know what I mean? So walk us through your connectivity with having clients all over the country.
As in like just following up with them?
Follow up, follow up, just that type of role. Because I think historically it's this, well, if you're going to travel to the same place all the time.
Oh yeah.
Does that make sense? Versus
exactly what you said. It's the 21st century. Like we have phones. We can reach out to our clients at any point. Like for me, the biggest thing is letting them know and really painting the picture in the home that I'm their agent for life. So, and really like being able to offer all our line of products too. Like, hey, Mary, I just took up your funeral and final expenses. I know that you said that you're buying a home in the next couple of months. We also do mortgage protection. So when you do buy a home, just so you know, like I, as an agent, I do all of that. We do specialize in safe money retirement, mortgage protection. We also specialize in final expense. So I want you to know that I'm your agent for life with this policy. So, again, not only here when something happens, but also while you're living. So once you move into your home, give me a call and we can connect about some mortgage protection insurance for you. Or, your 401k that you have just sitting there. Once you're ready to transfer that over, again, like I said, once you're ready to retire, we do safe money retirement as well, so we can review your options. So exactly what you said, it's the 21st century. We have a phone. If my clients are in, like I've had clients call me from, Hawaii, from travel trips that have said, hey, I just want to increase my coverage. We have DocuSign, we can increase their coverage. So for me, I definitely do annual reviews. So like I have my staff, my assistants go through every single one of my policies. They put them in a separate spreadsheet. And basically I'll go in, once a month. If I wrote someone last year what month are we in? In March, I'm going to call the people that I wrote last year in March and just see if there's anything I can help them with. And it honestly doesn't take that long. You can plug them into a dial day and then maybe you get an extra sale or two out of it. So that's my approach with that.
That's massive. To close, what was your biggest fear Maybe not just coming into Family First Life, or maybe becoming a business owner, or whatever the case may be. And how did you overcome it?
I feel like the biggest thing for me was like I was so stingy and I was afraid to invest into the business. Like I just kept having this thing in the back of my head of like, well, I just made 8 grand this week. Like I can't invest at all. Like what if I lose it? And you just have to get out of that mindset because that's how you're going to grow. And just like I was saying on an earlier call with you, the whole staff thing, like I think we have this fear of like holding on to money as like a safety net. But with FFL, like you could turn that 5, 10, 15 grand that you just made, that's going to literally pay you hundreds of thousands of dollars down the line if you just like let go of that fear. So, with my last insurance company, it was more of like I felt more of like an employee rather than a business owner. And just switching that mindset to, okay, I'm a business owner now. Now I'm responsible for other people. Now I'm responsible for staff. I'm 1099. Like I start at zero every single day. Like I need to actually get out there and invest and do what I have to do. So that was my biggest fear, was just investing. But investing has paid off. So
what did it make you do when you started investing? Did you work harder? Did you work smarter? What happened?
Absolutely. So I worked way harder. That's for sure. The more money that you put in, the more money you're going to get out, right? Because same thing goes for leads. If I buy 200 leads, I'm not just going to sit there and not dial them. Like I just bought them. I just spent 2 grand. I'm going to dial them. I'm going to go in on those leads, right? So yeah, that's it. It definitely made me work harder. It's 10x my business. Like I didn't think I could ever go Hall of Fame, but when they said spend 2,000 instead of 500, what did I do? I did that and I hit Hall of Fame. So, and then same thing from an agency building standpoint. Like if I didn't invest in a staff or recruiters or whatever, like we wouldn't be here. And I know the more I invest and the more people I hire, it's just going to grow it 100 times more.
And the last thing is this. Why do you believe anybody can do this?
Just because what we do is not easy, because it's hard work, but it's simple because we have such great systems in place for everyone to succeed. So literally, like none of us woke up selling insurance or were born selling insurance, right? We were all unlicensed at one point. We all started basically from scratch. And I feel like if you come into this with that mindset of like, oh, I'm starting something new, but if I follow this perfectly laid out system that Sean Mike and FFL staff and everyone's created, like I can succeed because I see other people doing it, and just not reinventing the wheel. That's the biggest thing, is just following everything.
Seems simple, right? It seems very, very simple. And I've been doing this 10 years and I look around at people who've been doing this 3 years, 2 years, and who are just blowing by. And one thing I'd say is that your track is your track. Family First Life is a place that you can find your track and you can work this thing and blow this thing up. So Nina, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to help us out. That is Catalyst, the podcast with Golden State. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Dom. Have a good one.
You got it.